a reliable, competent service provider in our space. On Icon side, how would you describe Icon? I would say that we are a very reliable, a trusted, and reputable company in our own space. We, at the moment, I would say I can stand by that we are a reputable OSV provider. Going forward, we're looking into something that's light asset. Yeah. The answer is yes. If I may just summarize in word, but I also can go through numbers, profitable and growing. We have a good growth plan, good balance sheet with a slimmer, leaner outfit. What I mean by that is when we started offshore, that numbers is guided by the number of ships you have and the fixed number of people. But onshore, we have optimized our manpower to match what we have offshore. I.e., we probably, since I started with the company, reduce or optimize the organization to have about 50 plus people from close to 100. So, if you look at our specific numbers, debt to equity, it was high in the 2019. Now it's about 1.2. Finance costs for us, it went down. It started at around about 17%. Now it's about 12. GP margin, in the 30s was high. 32, say in 2019. 21, it was about 36. Profit margin, net profit margin about 10 to 15%. ROE is ranges from 7.1 to 8.3. Order book, I think, got enough order book to last us for probably 3.5 years and possibly more. Recently, we pick up some contract with the oil companies in Malaysia and Thailand. Regionally, we are in Brunei. Brunei is a good market for us. 3 assets in Brunei, 16 here, 1 in Thailand, 15 in Malaysia, 1 in Thailand. We should be probably getting another 1 in Thailand too. If you look at what is Icon, the key strength is reliable track record. Very strong ESG commitment. We have a five-year plan over the long term, short term. We do have a 3-year plan that we look at out of the 26, what we are focused on. Right? Strong operating cash flow, as always said. I think also after the sale of the rig, we've got a very strong cash. And hopefully by the end of this year, probably a lot stronger too. What we have now is a range of offshore support vessel, OSV. If I may categorize it, the one we have in Brunei, accommodation work barge, is a larger boat they can accommodate. It's probably like a floating hotel workshop kind of outfit. But offshore, they can house about 200 people at any one time. That's the Brunei. So 3 of them are employed in Brunei. That in itself contribute to about, if you just look at our OSV, 50% of our OSV market. The rest, the 16 that we have in Malaysia and Thailand, contribute to about the other 50% of our market. So roughly close to 100 million for Brunei, slightly over 100 million ringgit for Malaysia. So you have what we have is in Malaysia, you have the platform supply vessel. These are 75 meters vessel, mostly doing supply run to deeper waters, right? They are dual fired, meaning a mixed firing system, diesel and electric. So we have 2 of those. They are also fitted with electronic fuel monitoring system. What the system does is that it optimizes your fuel consumption. Yes, it's good for the environment, good for the client too in terms of meeting the greenhouse gases. But you have to spend money, which not yet. This is your own initiative. And one of these units costs, one of these electronic fuel monitoring system is about $500,000. And it has been beneficial to clients that enforce on this requirement. We plan to do more of it, but we need somehow the client has got to take some of the cost. That's on the platform. We have the anchor handling, and what it does is, if there's any movement, you want to move a rig, you need the anchor handling. You want to do the SBM work, our anchor handling will do that job. And some are just straight supply, meaning it goes from A to B carrying supply. Essentially logistic, but it does different function of the logistical operation, and so that's essentially what it is like. The nature of our operation, where it is affected in that sense, is where you have a lot of movement, not just a lot of frequent movement. The nature of our operation is that when you do most stuff, they are on our what I would call a roster or a shift. They spend about 3 months per shift, so 15 packs per vessel would spend about 2 to 3 months on board the vessel. So in a year, in that sense, you would only expect about 4 movements. Yes, it has impacted us. There is some financial impact. I think for us, it's about close to 4 million over that 2-year period. A lot less than what people in the same space. Now, what is important for us is how do we manage people under this condition, their mental health, essentially, their family, their safety. What we have done in-house is that there is regular support during that period, regular contact with their family members, regular contact, a lot more regular contact than normally with your crew on board. We do provide additional packages in terms of their entertainment, just to keep people, it can be, because the movement is first from vessel to shore. Then on shore, you have to spend 10 days to week for quarantine, and then you have to move on. Not so much it is a logistical one. It is more mental people health that's being affected. And I think we have, I must say, I'm proud to say that we have managed that well, both in terms of cost and people well-being. The last 2 years during COVID was purely focused on the OSB side, on people well-being. I think we have managed it well, because on a cost impact basis, it's only about in terms of revenue, 0.5% in that sense. Yeah, revenue and how much our claim was over the 2-year period, they're at most 1%. It doesn't impact, but provided these are the claimable basis, that's what I was trying to say. It's justified as per requirement. You get it paid by the client. Okay, let's start from the beginning. We first, when we purchased it, it was opportunistic. The asset in the class by itself, there were only 2 locally owned assets. This is the 400-footer jackup compared to what is mostly available in the market is 350, 370. So this one is a slightly higher class in terms of usage. For the price, it's not so much business. If what we could do with an assets that is working, that is good, and for the price we paid. So when we got it, the rate was just starting to pick up. We were picking up our rate, the first contract, relatively compared to what was available locally and locally owned assets. We were probably more than 20% higher. So then in itself, we bought it cheap. You are relatively higher on the market then. And it is on an increasing market. See, that's all things are with us. The rationale was of the sale, obviously. The rig business is good, but what next? We didn't have intention to sell. But if you look at it from a business that is booming, how do you get a similar assets in the rising market, both in terms of manpower cost, the cost of purchase? For us, the biggest issue was funding. Equinas funded the first purchase on shareholders' loan, but we were looking to refinance it. And it took us about a year to realize that, no bank was prepared. The contract would not be able to match the financing period. That is one issue. Now, why is that an issue? The contract in itself, if you look at the Petronas activity outlook, client, what's the word for it? I still like to use the PSC, but there's a word. Each PSC has a program that's, there's 6 months, at most a year. So there's always, it's not continuous. The nature of the contract in itself, because each PSC, each block has a different term. So it has to be contracted, say, block A, client B, has a 6-month program. So they will tender for 6 months. Even though they have the next one, block C, say, for example, same client, a year or 9-month program. That whole program, say, for example, 6 months plus 9, 15-month program is not tendered as such, right? It is work by work kind of thing. That is a challenge for us also, because you only know that you're going to get the next one almost at the end of the completion. So it makes planning for us, first contract that we have was only supposed to be 8 months. We ended up having 1 year plus, about a year. Second contract was 6 months. And what next? So on our second phase, the second contract that we performed was when there was an unsolicited offer. We deliberated, we look at why we bought, why we sell it. For the reason that I said, one, financing is difficult. Scaling up would cost you a huge amount of money, because the price of this thing, a similar spec, fairly less, range from 175 to 220 million US dollars. That's a huge amount of funding. Why? The rationale is it will be tough for us to scale up because of funding issue, and also not just funding, the cost of acquisition will be a lot higher. Things are going up, the price of metals are going up. Obviously, the cost of your outfit work and your operational costs will go up, because the industry is scrambling for qualified rig workers. Even within a year, costs have just gone up 10%. Somebody else is offering better, and people move. And I think the compelling reason to sell was the price was so good. We make a fairly decent profit. We look at, even if we scale up and whatever the daily charter rate, it's very tough, very hard for us to get this kind of profit margin within a year period.